All right, we are live. It is December, and Hillary's here with me this time, hopefully with better internet this time. We'll
Yeah.
get through it. Um, so in this video, we're going to go over, like I said in the description, some of the current events that are going around here in Montana. We're also going to give you the winner of the Thanksgiving Day or the Thanksgiving video contest. And should have had this sitting here. The winner will get this hat sent to them, and we will announce that a little later on. First of all, speaking of current events, um, we had a really bad fire here. Believe it or not, the weather's been weird. Well, when was that, Hillary? Like Wednesday of this week? It was about 60 degrees. Is that right?
Yeah. It got up to, 60 degrees. Everybody in my neighborhood was like sitting out on their porches. It was bizarre.
Everyone was freaking out that the ski hill was never going to open.
Yeah.
Um, So anyway, during that, and then it got really windy. I know I've spoken about this in some of my videos. On the east side of the mountains here, it gets really windy out there. I mean, like brutal. And then during the change of seasons, a lot of storms come through, and we really get some big wind events. Well, that happened when it got so hot, and a fire started, unfortunately. And I was reading about it. It sounded like they're not for sure yet, but kind of like in California, it sounds like a power line because of the wind sparked or something and started this fire. And as you've seen in my videos, it's just wide open space out there. Um, so what we're asking, if you guys would like to help, they've lost 25 houses and like
Yeah.
4 commercial buildings and I'm going to show you pictures here. Let me go to that and let me try and get that up here on the screen. It's unbelievable what the devastation. This little town, it's a tiny little town. Um, can you see that, Hillary?
Yes.
So I'll just scroll through these pictures for everybody to look, but um, I guess I'm at the wrong end. Let's go to the top. Um, the town is called Denton, and it was called the West Wind Fire, ironically enough. But it's a little tiny town, but they lost 25 houses there, and so we're asking you guys if you'd want to donate um, through the chat here. Our company, we had our Christmas party last night, and they said they would uh, help. They would match any donations we get on this feed. So there's a bank over there that's collecting money for these people that lost their homes. This is a picture of the grain elevator. I have on a different thing. I'll show you. You can see it like when it's on fire. And I was reading the article. I don't know if you saw it, Hillary, but the the fire, because it's all grasslands over there, as you can see in these pictures, that's the surrounding area. It wasn't like this wall of flame that came into town, but it lit this grain elevator on fire that's super tall, and the embers were blowing because it was like 60-mile-an-hour winds, and the embers were blowing and lighting up all these houses in town on fire, and there was nothing they could do to stop it. It's just crazy. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. So we would really appreciate it if anybody wants to donate and help these people out. Um, it's small town Montana. Everybody kind of sticks together, and but yeah, this is nuts what happened over there, and in December too, which is the
Yeah.
weirdest thing. So those pheasants standing out in the burnt grass. So yeah, that's that one. Let me see if I can get to a different one. Let's see. Takes a second here to get these up. Here's the picture of that grain elevator that was on fire. Look at that. I mean, that's that is kind of scary. And like I said, it was blowing those flames on all the embers were blowing into town because these sit right on the edge of town and lighting all these houses up. Um, but yeah, just a bad deal.
They said that a third of the houses are destroyed. So
Yeah,
Denver's very tiny.
it is a tiny little town.
It just got wiped out.
Let me see if I can pull up one more. I'll show you the on Google Maps here. Can you let me see? Oops. All right. Go back. Oops. Getting the hang of this here. Let's see. Where's my Google Maps? There it is. Okay, so we're up here in the Flathead Valley. This is what I was talking about. It was east of Great Falls, and here's Denton right here. And this is just wide open country. And if you look at, like, if you click on here and then look at there's there's an old picture of the elevator before it burned down. But you look at the surrounding area and there's just nothing out here. So imagine all that prairie on fire with the wind blowing 60 miles an hour. That's what happened over there. So actually, there's the elevator that burned down right there. Crazy stuff. So anyway, yeah, if you guys if you would like to donate, that would be great. Yeah, I see somebody mentioned that YouTube takes 30%. We're going to match. I knew that. And because we don't have I don't want to do my own PayPal or whatever. I want to be able to show our office, that how many donations we got so they can match it. And then we'll make up the difference, the 30% that YouTube's going to take. So if you guys want to do that, that'd be great. We would appreciate it. And kind of chipping in for our friends over in Eastern Montana. So let's see. What else do you have, Hillary? What have you been up to?
I'm very happy that we finally got a little bit of snow. Like we mentioned last week, in the middle of the week, it was like 60. And so we were starting to get a little nervous, but we got like 3 to 4 inches in town. And so I was very happy about that. I don't think Will was as happy about it. And so, yeah, the mountain is set to open on the 7th. And I think that we will still probably have to download people. So we'll take the chairlift up. We should be able to ski the backside, but we'll have to take the chairlift back down the mountain because I don't think we have quite as much snow as we need, but we got a little start. So that was good.
Yeah, I was giving Hillary a bad time because if you guys follow our Instagram account, which you should if you don't, she made a post on that Wednesday or Thursday about basically
how we need to add snow. Our downtown, we've got our Christmas decorations up in downtown Whitefish. It's the best. It feels so festive down there. But yeah, there was no snow, so it just didn't feel quite right. And then we woke up the next morning and it was like a winter wonderland. So
this is Hillary's fault. She did a pray for snow post and it worked. So apparently if you need anything, just ask Hillary and she can make it happen. And then some other if you want to talk or pull up on your end, Hillary, we were going to talk about a couple little real estate related news articles that came out for the area while we've been gone. We haven't done one of these in about 3 weeks because Thanksgiving was here and we both left town for that. So
yes, hope you all had a great Thanksgiving.
If you can pull those up, we can.
So the first one I have is touching on the shortage of homes in Montana, which I think we've been feeling pretty acutely.
Yeah, there was a stat in there that I circled. Apparently, there was a guy that did that. I wrote it down here. So Montana's population has increased by 10% between 2010 and 2020, but the number of houses only grew by 7%. So do the math, it doesn't work. So that would explain why our prices are going up, or they are high already, and
Staying
our inventory is so low. We've been working with numerous people that are kind of getting frustrated, unfortunately, with our market at the moment.
there's
It's
a
not
lot
good.
of competition.
Yeah. So, with that being said, we're hoping that we get a lot of new listings here at the new year. Um, that's normally what happens. People wait until the new year because of tax purposes, and they wait because a lot of people don't want open houses and people traipsing through their house during the holidays because they have company and all of that. So that's the deal there. What was the other article you had?
Well, the other one that I have is the Glacier Park to keep tickets open.
Yeah.
Have it being open, keep ticketed entry for next year.
So I believe Hillary and I have differing opinions on that. Hillary, would you like to chime in with your incorrect opinion first?
Wait, what is your opinion?
I hate it.
Oh, so do I.
Oh, I thought you liked it. I guess it's another person that loves it.
I
It,
would say that it is nice when you do get your ticket and you show up to the park. Every time I went, I thought it's like not that busy. This is kind of nice. But I think that, I mean, the beauty of living so close to the park is being able to wake up on a Saturday and decide to go for a park that day. We're not very good at planning. We sort of wait to see how the weather is, how we feel. And we've got a list of things we know we want to do during the summer, but then we just kind of play it by ear. And so that was hard for us to have to try to, plan the dates ahead and get online at 8 a.m. and try to figure it all out. But I don't really know what the alternative is because it is extremely busy. So
I agree. And a couple of things that they mentioned in this article is I agree with everything you say. I think it might be okay if the problem was for us anyway, is they were saying, oh, they're going to release a whole bunch of tickets each morning at 8 o'clock. Well,
yeah,
the website or whatever they were doing, we tried it because our daughter came home with some friends and we were trying to get them tickets, and you could get them like 10 days out, or I forget, a week before something, or that morning, but you couldn't get on. And
yeah.
I find it hard to believe that there were that many people that we never were able to get a ticket that every time we tried, and we tried probably a week straight, and both Angie and I were sitting there with our computers ready to log in right at 8 o'clock, and we did. And I mean, we never got one. So if they could fix that, it might not be so bad, but
Yeah, I agree. We have the same issue. It is crazy looking at these numbers, though, just that we had a 24% increase in visitors. And at the end here, it talks about we don't have the numbers yet for sort of our shoulder season of November and December, but we're probably going to break that record because it has been so mild. It's been, like we said, 60 degrees. Not that it's that warm there, but it doesn't feel like winter, so you can still definitely go to the park.
yeah, but what you had outlined earlier about the October visitation is
Yeah,
that's when it was open. That's when you didn't need the tickets. And so all the people like me that were so irritated all summer, we went a bunch of, we started going again in October, and that's why there was such a jump there in
yeah, but
October.
I think it still would have been. I think it would have been that busy the whole year. I don't know if that's just because you didn't need tickets. I don't know. They're keeping it, so I guess hopefully the system improves, but
Well,
we'll just have to get used to it, I guess.
It's kind of like a tax thing. Once they put in a tax, they never get rid of it. So I knew they were going to do this. The one thing that they did touch on in this article, one of the, by the way, if you guys have questions, we're going to answer questions later. So you can start putting them in now and we'll get to them about anything Montana, not just what we're talking about. But anyway, back to that article. When one of the things that happened, and I know you guys saw it, is because you couldn't get in the main entrance. People that aren't from here thought, oh, I'll go up to Pulbridge and get in that way. And they thought that you could get from Pulbridge back to going to the Sun Road, and you can't.
Yeah.
So Pulbridge was a mess all summer, and there were tons of people up there, like way more than there ever had been. And that was
Yeah.
one of the repercussions of this ticket thing. And now they're talking about selling tickets for there too. So it'll be interesting to see what is the fallout from all of this year.
Yeah. Yes,
So,
it will. And then we also had another glacier news. This is more pertaining to real estate. We had an agent in our office list a really cool little property in Glacier for 1.5 million, and it was under contract in 3 days, so it got picked up really quickly.
yeah, and we need to talk about this. This is as you can see, if you go back up to the picture, it's a modular. It's basically a trailer.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's
on
on
a tiny little lot.
0.6 of an acre. And you guys are going to probably think I'm weird, but I thought that was a bargain for $1.5 million. And here's why. It's all, as they say in real estate, it's all about location, right? And I mean, how many people can say that they own property in a national park? And I think it's so weird that that is still a thing. There's very few homes or properties that could be sold in there. This happened to be one of them. There's another house that some other people in our office have listed too, that's listed for $12 million. It's a bigger house on a much bigger lot. But the rental money that I know I was talking to Jessica about this house, and I know they were getting quite a bit of rental money out of this place. And the beauty of this place too is that you can go back up to the photo again. Even though it's a small lot, there's no covenants on it. You could build a little store right there, or you could build a house, a nicer house, whatever. And so, yes, $1.5 million seems crazy for a trailer anywhere, but it's in Glacier Park. So I don't know. Maybe I'm goofy, but I think that if I would have had $1.5 million, I would have bought it.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents on that. What else? So back to the people that weren't here at the beginning, we were talking about the big fire that hit eastern Montana. It kind of wiped out a whole bunch of houses in this little town. We would love it if you guys would donate on the chat here. Our office said they're going to match any donations we get, and we'll announce it on our next live, what we get and what they match. But yeah, a lot of people lost their houses and are kind of going through some hard times right before the holidays. So if you guys could donate, that would be great. We would appreciate it. So yeah, there you go. That was in Denton, Montana. So questions. Let's hit the questions.
Okay. Here's one.
Do you think there will be a lot of snow this year, and when does the heavy snowfall start? If so, what area of Montana snows the most? We're up in the northwest corner. We're probably one of the snowiest areas in the state, I would say. Um, I'm not positive on that. I know down in Big Sky, Bozeman, they get a lot of snow too. Um, I know up on our ski hill, we get about 400 inches up at the top. We obviously don't get that much down here in the valley, but we get quite a bit. Um, when does the heavy snowfall start? It could start in an hour. From here on out, it can snow anytime, and I've seen it some years where it starts snowing and it snows for a week straight. So
Yeah.
we are at that time of year where you never know what's going to happen and how much snow you're going to get, but we definitely get winter here. So
I don't know if I know the answer to this.
I don't know if they're common. I've seen some. Yeah, the question for those of you that can't see that, are solar panel systems common in the Polson area? Um, again, I don't know enough about this. I did the video on the off the grid place and we talked about it there. But like in the winter, like December and January, I remember the lady on the off the grid house saying that they have a hard time generating much solar power because it's cloudy so much and it gets dark. The daylight isn't around much this time of year. Um, so she was telling me, I remember that in December, January, they wouldn't get much. They had to run their generator a lot. Um, but back to the Polson question, yes, I've seen them down there. Um, I don't know what your definition of common is. That they're not common like you see in the Southwest, but there are some people that have them.
Yeah, we actually met with, there was an article in the Daily Interlake, I think, about a guy who installs solar panel systems, but I mean, he's got his house all rigged up, and we had him over to try to install some for us. And it was just what you said, Will. I think it kind of has to be in the perfect location, and it depends on how many trees are around you. But he basically told us not worth it. So yeah, you see them, but you don't see them like on every single house.
Yeah. We were down in the desert for Thanksgiving, and just about every house down there has them on their roof.
Really?
But down there it's sunny every day, so
Yeah.
that's a good thing. But I have a buddy down there that he did it, and they actually, like in the summertime, his electric meter will start spinning backwards. He'll
Yeah.
be generating more than he's using, and then his power bill and on those times is nothing. Um, so kind of cool, but yeah, I don't. That's one of the things I've always wondered about, and I would love if anybody's out there listening that knows more about solar than I do, chime in. But you would think with the technology and the advancements and everything nowadays, they would make it cheap enough and more, not economical, but what's the word I'm looking for? Efficient,
Hmm.
where more people would do it, because it's free, once you get them up there, it's just a matter of the cost to do it, and then if it, you know,
Yeah.
provide too much. So, all right. Deep fried cherry pie, nice name. What area of Western Montana has the best bang for your buck when it comes to natural beauty and price per square acre? Uh, the natural beauty part, I'll let Hillary chime in here. You can go from the Canadian border down to the Idaho border, and there's really no ugly spots, right?
Right.
So natural beauty is all over Western Montana.
All over. You can't really escape it.
Yeah. As far as the price per acre, that's going to depend on how close to a bigger town you are, how close to a resort you are. Obviously, the further out in the sticks you get, the cheaper things are, just because there's not a lot of people that want to live out that far. So, your question, I don't know if I can give you an exact answer. Because whether you're in our area, again, the further out you go, the cheaper it's going to get.
Yeah, I
In
don't
our
think there's
area, in the
a big place you can pinpoint like, oh, if you want pretty, but a little
yeah,
bit cheaper, here's where you go. I agree with what you said. It's just sort of the farther you get away.
yeah, and the prices are pretty similar between here and say the Bitterroot Valley, which is south of Missoula. Missoula is kind of in the middle of western Montana if you're looking at a map, and then we're north and the Bitterroot Valley south of that. That's where Hillary's video about the Yellowstone Ranch that we did a few weeks ago. But yeah, their prices down there are pretty similar to us, but same thing. You get further out, the cheaper it gets. And it's because, you're the expense will come to run power and way out to a lot, or there's no cell service and there's no internet or whatever. So I mean, that's what you're up against when you get way out if you're looking for a deal on land. So, Joseph, so as somebody that strives in the high end of the low income bracket, are my dreams of buying a small home pretty much out the window with the prices where they are? It depends. I don't, and you don't have to answer in public. You can email us as far as the price range you're looking at, but there's still in some of these towns, again, it depends what you want. Yeah, if you want something with a bunch of acreage and near a lake, kind of everybody's dream, it's pretty expensive. But some of those houses, Hillary, we had that guy calling us about down that, what's the town just east of Missoula there? Remember that house you showed, or you didn't show it, but you researched. I forget the name of the town right to the east of Missoula. But the house was like 250 grand.
Well, and I've shown houses in Kalispell that are, 220, 250. They're fixer uppers, but I don't think I would say that, you're priced out. Forget it. There's definitely still stuff available. It's just harder to come by, and you're not the only one who wants it. So there's more competition sometimes, but.
Yep. So no, your dream is not dead, Joseph. Email us and we can try and help you out. What is next?
Do you know anything about geothermal systems?
There's I've seen a lot of houses that have that. It's the heat pump deal. I don't know if you've seen any of those yet, Hillary, but they run all this tubing out in the ground outside in your yard, obviously underground, because it doesn't, and they run it really deep. So then, the temperature down there is probably 50 degrees, right? And it stays like that all the time. So what this thing does, the way I understand it, is it pumps it in that air into your house, and then it heats that from 50 up to 70. So it saves you money doing it that way. So people do have those. I guess that is the answer to that question.
We can always, if you send us an email, we can find you more information or put you in touch with the right person also.
Yeah, there's a lot of companies that do those out here, so they are becoming more popular. Felix, is Helena, Montana a nice place to live? Yeah, I've never lived there, but I've been there plenty of times. It's a nice town. I did a video on it. If you want to look back on our channel, look back through the videos. There is one about Helena that I drive around town and show you the area and show you the area between here and there when I drove over there. So check it out.
Check it out.
It's certainly not getting as many views as the video Hillary did last week, but It's getting some views. Hillary would like to thank everybody that watched that. She's got 100,000 views already on her premiere video. So apparently I'm going to get fired here from doing videos, it's sounding like, and it's going to be all Hillary.
No.
Am I worrying too much about getting mauled by a bear? Yes, I will say yes, you are.
They will maul you though. But
Yes, they will maul you if you try to get mauled. But yeah, it's kind of like we're going in the ocean and worrying about getting attacked by a shark. Yes, it can happen, but how often does it happen?
Yeah.
I guess if you're the guy that gets attacked, it's 100%, right? But
I think shark attacks have actually increased quite a bit, but no, it does. You don't have to worry about being mauled by a bear. It doesn't happen that often, but I mean, you need bear spray. That's real. So you take precautions, but
yes, you definitely want to be aware. If you're up in the park, in Glacier Park, you have a way better chance than living in town here. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that.
no, they're cute.
I don't know if I would go that far. Randy, is
You'll
medical.
know the answer to this, Will.
What's that?
I don't know if you'll know the answer to this, but
I think, well, on
I think
January.
the is, and then we just voted to legalize it, not just medically, just like legalize it in general. I don't know when that actually goes into effect though.
January 1st.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, in a few weeks, in a month. But yeah, medical marijuana is available now. But yeah, the recreational is going to be interesting because I know that all the cities around here, they're all scrambling to make, new zoning laws, and they're all debating about where they're going to, allow it to be sold, even though. And here's the other thing, I don't know. This is directed at you, Hillary, but when I was in college, I was taught in a government class that federal law overrides local laws. And they brought up a thing that way back, I don't remember what year, but at the University of Michigan, all these students ended up getting on the city council, and they legalized marijuana in the town there. Ann Arbor, I guess, is where University of Michigan is. Mm-hmm. And they were saying that, that lasted for about 2 days before the feds came in and said, no, sorry, you can't do that. So I don't understand why. I mean, I realize people are getting more accepting or open to it, but it's still a federal law. And I know, tying this to real estate, I've heard of some people that want to buy a building and use it for a dispensary or whatever, that they can't get a loan because the banks are federally, they have the federal FDIC. And so
I remember in Columbia Falls, they built this was a couple years ago, but they built that Columbia Crest, but it was new condos on top, and then they had a few commercial spaces open downstairs. And I know somebody wanted to buy it and use it as medical marijuana, I think, dispensary, and they said no. I mean, that didn't have anything to do with the government, but just, the sellers didn't want it there. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out, but.
Yes, it will. So there's my answer on marijuana.
Okay. Same. They're so scary.
Yeah, moose are. I've heard. We were hiking in the park last summer, over on the east side. Have you ever done that hike down along where the Sinnepaw Mountain is? I forget the name of the lake we hiked to, but anyway, you go past this pond, and the pond is maybe a quarter mile off the trail, but the pond is pretty big. And so as we were hiking down the trail, there was a gigantic moose in that pond, and it was freaky how big that thing was and how powerful. And I was thankful that it wasn't on the trail because that wouldn't have been good.
And I think moose are more like aggressive. I mean,
Yeah.
bears, every time I've seen a bear, they run away. I mean, they don't want to be near me either. But yeah, I don't know. Moose are scary.
Yep. So, what do we have next? Somebody. How about
State law overrides the most constitutional. Big marijuana discussion.
let's see. What is your favorite neighboring American state or Canadian province? Well, that is a great question. I'll let you go first.
I'm just, no, you go first.
I would have to say Alberta. I like going up to Calgary. I'm a hockey fan. So I go up to hockey games up in Calgary a lot. And it's it's fun up there. British Columbia is right above us as well. So we're kind of the border of Alberta and British Columbia is basically straight north of Whitefish. So there's two different ways to go up to Calgary. One goes through BC, you go through Fernie.
I love Fernie.
Yeah, Fernie's a cool town. And then, or if you go south of Glacier Park and then up that way, you're in Alberta. You come into the first town you hit is called Cardston. And it's not, I like going the Fernie way better. It's prettier. You're in the mountains the whole way. Calgary is like on the east side of the mountains. So it's out in the prairie. You can see the mountains right there to your west, but Calgary itself sits out in the prairie and it's pretty wide open, but it's a great town, fun town. So that would be my favorite Canadian province. As far as state, I don't know. We're bordered by Idaho to the west, Wyoming. What else? The Dakotas. So, South Dakota's cool, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't done that much exploring around Montana, to be honest. We did a trip to Fernie and Banff, which that was amazing. I would love to go to Alberta. We've been to a few hot springs in Idaho. We're going to do that in a couple weekends, so I'm excited to go there. But yeah, there's just a lot to do in Montana. So I feel like we don't venture out that much unless we're going somewhere, really far away.
Montana's so big. I've said this before,
Yeah.
but it's the fourth biggest state in the country. And there's not even a million. Well, there's just over 1 million people in the whole state. So let's see. Oh, go down any famous movies filmed in the area. The most famous
Runs through it.
Yeah, well, and that what's the one where I went to the rapids over there in Libby in Troy? Isn't that The Revenant? And then or they filmed A River Runs Through It there too, didn't they? Those waterfalls,
Yeah,
Kootenai
maybe.
Falls. So
I don't know. I feel like all I know is, yeah, I don't know if The Revenant was filmed here or not, but it would make sense if it was.
it was filmed at those falls. I didn't see that movie, but I've heard that they use those falls in there for something. Again, I didn't see that movie, but I would, yeah, for the most famous one, I'd have to say River Runs Through It would be the one most people would know.
Legends of the Fall?
I don't know, was that filmed here?
Maybe not.
I mean, it was supposedly in Montana, but that doesn't mean they filmed it here.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm not sure. But they obviously this isn't a movie, but Yellowstone is what's like currently filming, and so that's kind of fun. They'll post ads sometimes saying, we'll be filming on this day, so drive to Missoula or wherever they're filming if you want to be an extra. So,
yeah, there's been a lot of people that got extra jobs. I haven't done it. I don't think I would get hired, but now that Hillary has all these views on her videos, they would probably welcome you. You should do it.
oh God.
You could wear one of your Montana hats. Speaking of that,
Yes,
that is a good segue.
I would be wearing it now.
To announce our winner. If she's on here, that'd be cool. I haven't noticed her name in the comments, but the winner is Wendy Wells. So I will email you when this is over and get your mailing address because we will be sending out your hat. You had the most correct answers of all the entries we had. So I appreciate you watching and participating in our little contest. All right. So what is the next? I have wondered about this for a while, but you said general labor pays average to below average. So how can that many people afford these $1 million homes? Well, Joseph, a lot of them are moving here from out of state right now. So that would be the answer.
Or this is, yeah, like a second home and they live out of staters.
Yeah. And again, Montana is huge. And like the town we talked about with the fire, I mean, that is not a resort area of any sort. That's nowhere anybody goes to visit. But, and it's way cheaper, in little towns like that. And there's a lot of little towns like that. If you're good with living out, in the prairie, on the prairie. So that is who's affording these homes. Or again, until COVID hit 2 years ago now, or whenever it started, things were still reasonably affordable, even here in Whitefish. But it's just gone nuts ever since COVID hit. Everyone's bailing out of the big cities and moving up to the mountains. So there you go. Let's see. You may have already spoke of this, but do you get tired of the long, cold season? I live in California at 6,000 feet and get all 4 seasons, so I think I will adapt. What do you do to escape the cold? Hillary?
I mean, yes, a little bit you get sick of it, but I don't really. I mean, we can ski all winter. I think it would be a lot harder if I didn't ski or like people ski, cross country ski, downhill ski, obviously, snowshoe. I mean, there's stuff to do. And so I enjoy doing all of that. So when spring rolls around, yeah, I'm ready for it to be warm, but I'm used to being in the cold. I grew up in Nebraska, so it was cold there. So I think it's, I'm just used to seasons. I don't mind it so much. Will does get sick of it. And I think we escape by literally escaping and going on vacation somewhere warm if we can.
Yep. We always get on Interstate 15 and head south and head to the desert areas. And, last year we went down, went hiking in Zion, went down to Grand Canyon, and then Sedona, which is my new favorite place. I had never been there. And Sedona, Arizona was really cool. Great hiking, very pretty, cool place. So that's what we do.
And that kind of does it for me. You get away, get the sun for a little bit, and then you come back and it's bearable.
Yeah, and the winters here aren't like you get in eastern Montana. For somebody that maybe, I don't know where you are, Buzz, in California, but well, if you get all 4 seasons, but it doesn't get all that. It doesn't get the bitter cold where Hillary and I live. So it's not bad. Rarely do we get the bitter cold weather.
I think people complain more about just like how overcast and gloomy it is.
Yeah.
It's not freezing, but we don't get a lot of like pretty blue sky days.
That's what keeps it warm. So
Yeah, I don't mind it. So
what do we
we
have
got a
next?
celebrity in the house.
I was an extra on an Unsolved Mysteries when I lived in Roswell. Was it a UFO?
I love
Was
that
it the
show.
UFO, the Roswell UFO incident? Was that what the show was about? Yeah, it sounds like, a lot of people are doing the extra thing around here. Montana's become popular for Hollywood and, filming movies now, so I'm guessing that is going to become more of a thing. Are you experiencing a serious drought in Montana? Yes. We are not so much where we are at, but on the east side, that kind of led to that fire last week. So that is the answer to that.
This is a good question.
All right. Out of staters get a lot of flack. Is there anything positive that you two think that out of staters bring to the Montana culture, Hillary?
Well, literally me, because I'm an out of
Oh,
stater.
that was teed up for
Yes,
you.
they get so much flack, but I I don't know. They bring so much. It's just like nice. They're just nice, normal people coming here. I mean, if we can get more diversity, and I don't know, I don't have a problem with it. I understand the frustration when locals feel like they, can't live here anymore, get a house here. But I don't know. I think that that's actually something that I was worried about when I moved here. That was sort of a joke that people told me, like, oh, everybody's going to hate you. Don't tell them you're out of state. And I don't know. It's like sort of a joke. I don't think that it's like we did a video with the Overheard Whitefish Instagram page. We kind of laugh at it, but I hope that we don't actually make people feel uncomfortable or like they shouldn't be here. But yes, they bring a lot of positive things. Would you agree, Will?
Oh, for sure. And like I tell the locals that are complaining about it, the people that they're scared of moving here, those people would never move here. So, the people that love the big cities and inner city, the big metro areas, that's what they like. Montana would be the last place they would want to live, right? I mean, for the same reason I wouldn't want to live in the middle of a giant city is, same reason the people there wouldn't want to live here. So I don't know. I think that's gone on since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
Everybody complains about out of staters and, like Hillary said, I did that video a few weeks ago and joking about it. I hope everyone realized it was
It
joking.
was not mean spirited.
No. So
Yes. Um,
I live in Washington near the border of Idaho. I want to homestead. Do you have off-grid tracks or rural available for less than Washington? I don't know what your prices are over there, so I don't know if I can answer that. Obviously, the off-grid parcels are cheaper because they're off-grid. The thing you have to worry about, Hillary and I showed a property, I don't know, a month and a half ago now, over near Thompson Falls. Wasn't that?
yep, it was in Thompson Falls.
Okay. Yeah. And
The
wasn't it
one
like
that
100 acres or 90 acre? It was huge.
it was huge, but it was all on the side of a mountain. So
Yeah.
we, drove up the mountain. And so the usable acreage, I mean, it was, on the top of the mountain. So it was pretty, but it was a
Like
pretty
one
small
acre.
space. Yeah.
Of
And
your
then even
100-acre lot, you could use one.
yeah.
So that's what you got to look out for. So I hope that helps you. Again, you can email us. Our contact information's in the notes. And I can send you a link. We say this every week too that we do these. If anybody out there wants a link to our MLS, So you can search and see our properties that are available and see exactly what we can see. We'd be happy to send it to you. Just email us and we'll get it over to you.
This kind of leads into this question. What about areas down Highway 200 like Plains Paradise or even Thompson Falls? It is gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's asking, as if it's pretty or cheap or whatever. But yeah, it's very pretty. There's the river that runs right through that area. It's kind of a more of a narrow valley than where we are, but very pretty. That whole area up to the Idaho border. I went and did a listing appointment on a house up there, basically on like 3 miles from the Idaho border, and it's beautiful country, but you're kind of a long way from anything over there. So that's my 2 cents there. How are the mosquitoes? I don't think they're that bad. Some people, again, it depends on areas. I think the difference between here and Louisiana is most of our water here is moving. It's not stagnant water that sits there, and that's where I know mosquitoes are born and bred. So yes, we do have some here, but they're nothing like say Minnesota or probably Louisiana.
Yeah, no, I've never experienced thought, oh, this is annoying. There's so many mosquitoes. The only time that I ever we went on a hike to a lake, and I guess the lake was pretty stagnant because it was so bad. But other than just like a one-off area, in general, they're not bad.
Yep. So what else do we have here? What do you think will become of the residents and landowners in the Pulbridge area if they start taking entry to that too? I think it'll help them. I don't think as many people. I think I was saying this earlier. I don't know if you were on here, but part of the problem with the tickets last year was it was just for the main gate, and people that aren't from here would drive up to Pulbridge thinking they could access going to the Sun Road from there, and you can't. And then they would get up there and, oh, look, there's a mercantile here, and let's hang out here. And it just was crowded, and tons of people went up there. I think if there's a ticket to get in up there too, I bet it cuts it down. It's just my opinion. Who knows? I guess we will find out. Anything else? Let's see. Are you getting through everything?
I think so.
All right. Well, let me go back and give one more pitch. Let me share my screen again for those of you that weren't here earlier. There was a huge fire over in eastern Montana, and we're asking you guys for donations if you guys are willing to do that. But that is what happened. That is the grain elevator in town, and it was really windy that day. The what do you call it? The embers coming off of this grain elevator were going into town and lighting all the houses on fire, and they lost 25 houses. So our company said that they would match any donations we could get. So if you want to leave one on the chat here, and I know that YouTube takes a cut, and we're going to make that up. So if you're willing to donate, that would be great. Those people over there need the help, and we would love to help them out. So if anyone's willing to do that, we would appreciate it. That would be a good Montana thing to do.
We have a few more questions.
Okay. Can you talk about cost of living, taxes, registration? Yes, we can talk about that. I don't know where to start. I guess what I would suggest is if you want to reach out and email and ask about a specific area, each little town is different as far as taxes go. Like here in Whitefish, we have a 3% resort fee, they call it. Um, down in Kalispell, they don't. Uh, the taxes are varied. In Montana, they're based on the value of the house. So, and they reassess them every 2 years. So this is the year they do it. And I know a lot of people are going to get hit pretty hard. So they're actually putting something on the ballot for next year that I don't have any idea how it would ever lose, but they're proposing to put a cap on how much your taxes can go up when they reassess them. So, so I don't want to start throwing out numbers because it varies widely. But like I said, if you want to reach out and email us and be a little more specific on an area, I can definitely help out with that. All right, Shamrock. Why would a seller put a property on the market, then pull it off the market before selling? I know of 5 properties, 35 to 40 acres with a nice mix of trees and open spaces, reasonably priced. 5 properties, I assume that they pulled off.
I just spoke, I mean, this is just one example. I think it can be a number of things, but I spoke to a listing agent today because I had a buyer that was interested in a property and they were taking it off the market just because he doesn't want to deal with trying to move in the winter. So they're just taking it off so they don't have to worry about it. And then they're going to relist it in the spring. So
yeah, and like if you're looking this, whoever made this question here, Shamrock,
sure.
a lot of these properties, if they're that big, might be up in the mountains and they may not be accessible in the winter without a snowmobile. So we see that a lot with land in the winter is people will pull it off because you can't even get to it unless you have a snowmobile or whatever, and people don't want to deal with it. So, because as you know, if it sits on the market and someone's like, "Oh, look, this has been on the market for a year or whatever," then I'm gonna throw in a low ball offer because obviously they can't sell it. So that's part of the strategy of why people will pull stuff off. Or who knows? It could be 100 different things.
Yeah.
Could be a family issue. It could be a change of heart. I don't know. Who knows? So, did that cover everything? I'm looking. Oh, Tiffany, I meant for the residents to access the North Fork. Let me go back to
How
her.
would the ticketed entry for like Pulbridge area affect the residents?
As far as to access the North Fork.
Like would the residents of Pulbridge need a ticket?
Well, no, the ticket would be to go into the park. You can get to Pulbridge is not in the park.
Yeah.
So you'll never need a ticket to go to Pulbridge. So, but like I said earlier, I think it'll help the residents. I think it's going to cut down on people driving up there. So that's my 2 cents on that.
This is an interesting question.
All right. Would you like to chime in on that? Or
I'm trying to think. I think that I don't know. I can't think of anything that I wish they would ask me. It's always the other way around. Questions that I wish I would have asked them.
I think for me, what I would say is a lot of people will
I know
call
what
us
you're saying.
or email us and that have never been here. And they just look at the photos of a lot or, kind of like that property we talked about earlier in Thompson Falls that we drove all the way over there for. And, had the people driven by it, they would have known right out of the gate that it wasn't going to work for them. So, that I guess my answer to this question would be, I wish the people would be more worried about the access, or, wanting to know what's around something before they start asking about, the price and what do you think you could get it for and things like that. That's what I would say. What else? Who do you got tonight? Denver, Kansas City? I'll go with Kansas City. All right. Well, it looks like we've hit the bottom of the questions. So we will be back in a couple weeks, I think. Is that when you're going on your little trip, Hillary?
Yes.
Well, hopefully one of us, at least I will be back. We're going to keep doing these every other week.
Oh yeah, I'll be back I'll be gone
right.
on the 19th, but yeah, we'll be back soon. We'll tell you guys.
All right. So, again, please donate if you haven't. If you want a link to our MLS, send us an email. And you got anything else?
Nope.
All right. Well, thank all you guys. Congratulations, Wendy, for winning the hat. Oh, there we got a donation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That will go to some families in need over on the east side and help them out right before Christmas. So we will be back before Christmas. Thanks again. I think I said it. Congratulations, Wendy. I will email you to get your mailing address for the hat that you won. And we will see everybody in a couple weeks. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.